Hey, okay, today's talk is on mental illness, the tough stuff. All right, most of you know that I survived a 2-year deep depression with suicidal ideation without ever acting on it. I think that's the toughest part for people with mental illness to understand is that they don't have to believe their own thinking, but it is hard. Waiting for a medication that actually works and so forth is very tough. And as I've said, AA taught me not to drink one day at a time, sometimes for 5 minutes at a time. And I applied it to my depression, and it was very hard. And I couldn't really talk to anybody because, as you guys know, when I'm really depressed, I stutter. And it was so bad that my whole body stuttered, and I had odd movements. I'm clenching my hands so you don't see what they were like, because I won't be able to stop. And it was so bad. I had to use a cane, and I was very ashamed to go in public. And I still don't answer the phone. And I'll go out in public with my husband to places where usually we don't know anybody, or I can just say hi, because I still in public. It just happens. I know it's all in my head, but that didn't help. It didn't stop. It's PTSD over being bipolar and how odd I am. And you know, I don't want any of you to say, you're not odd. Sorry. We all know that's not true. Another part I want to talk about is the other things that happen as in manics. Manics are like when the person will go out and buy, say, 5 lamps and 5 new carpets and, a whole set of new furniture and a brand new car, and they don't tell anybody, and they buy it all on credit, and they never talk to, their spouse saying, let's do this. And they do things like dance on bar tops naked when they're drunk, or they take off and nobody knows where they are, and they could stay gone for months. Sometimes, as in my case, well, I did spend too much money. I do like $1,800 a month. Now, I stick to my allowance, which is fairly large compared to most people, but I stay in it. And in a manic, I went into a psychotic episode, and I texted and emailed some terrible things to some family members. I tried to talk about this once before and couldn't because I just started crying. And I said things that can't be taken back, and I thought I was right, and woke up the next morning and read what I had said, and I drove myself right to the hospital. And it still took a few months for me to realize that I was still way out of line. And my amends were that I quit contacting them. It was too painful, and I flat out told them, I said, I wouldn't trust me again either. I wouldn't. Now, that's some advice I give to people who live with somebody with a severe mental illness. if they get verbally abusive and especially physically abusive, and they will not listen to you about how they need to go see their doctor or check into a hospital, leave. Leave. It is their job. That's why we're no longer called mental patients. We're called consumers, because it is our job to do everything we can to get on top of it as well as we can. And they also have a form now where you can choose the people you trust to say it's time to go in and notify your psychiatrist or the authorities. And you can also write where you want to be checked in. And that way you don't go to a place that has a bad reputation or just really doesn't help. For instance, I found out there are 5-day places that really work on behavioral choices. And so that's where I found out about the sheet where you can say who can say it's time to go in and where to go. And it was very helpful. And I didn't know places like that existed. They helped even out my medication and, gave me tools to use with my mental illness. To people who have mental illness, it is our job. It's our job. Nobody else has to understand. They have their own stuff. Some people have cancer. Some people have awful hearts right from birth. Everybody's got something. Pain is as common as dirt. It's your job. It is your job. It is a chemical imbalance. It is nobody else's fault. Face it, we're hard to live with. We just are. It's your job. Another thing I want to talk about is self-harm. I know a lot has gone on about teens and burning and cutting themselves. What's not talked about as adults. When I was in severe pain, 10, 11 years ago, I used to burn my arms with cigarettes. Because let's face it, it really is an instant relief from pain. But it can cause severe infections. You can cut so deep that it's really hard for people to fix it. Even with burning, there's terrible chances of severe infection. And so, stop. Get a group together where one day at a time you don't, and when you feel like it, you call somebody. Form a group like they do in AA. And somebody who stopped the longest sponsors somebody who does. And the trick to that is if the person doesn't want help, move on to one who does. Form a group. Message me. I don't mind. I've been there. And I know the temptation is just like for me, the temptation of alcohol. And it's very, very difficult. And, face it, I don't even like other mentally ill people, especially bipolars. Because if we're all manic, we ping off each other and it's like this electrical storm. You could feel it in the room and everybody's like, oh my God, can anybody make them shut up? And when we're depressed, we all get depressed together. It's even hard for mentally ill people to be around each other. And that's the truth. So this is today's hard talk about mental illness. If you're a parent or a spouse, let's face it, unless they really trust you, they are not going to listen to you. It's their job. They need to find somebody they trust And no matter how much you love them, how much you pray for them, it's not going to work unless they do the work. Okay? As much as we want to say love will change the world, often love is not enough. Love is not enough. And neither is prayer. Unless they cooperate with God, who wants everybody to be as healthy as they can, it's not going to help. It's not going to help. So, people who are mentally ill, it's your job. It's your job. Quit blaming others. Quit blaming them for, trying to help the best that they can. This is a chemical imbalance, and it's your job to get in, get help, and get medication. Nobody else's job. It's yours. Take charge. I love you guys. Bye.